And we're back after an OBS crash, I guess.
Yay, we're back.
Okay. So, what you missed was us falling a little bit down the hall, finding the Marguerite's lab, and her having absolutely zero interest in the fact that we've here at the Kra. Probably because Robin doesn't mention it to her, so she doesn't know to be relieved.
Yeah.
Which is strange.
Yeah,
So,
it would have been nice if they'd coded in some sort of last thing between Robin and Marguerite. I feel like Marguerite would have been happy to know
we've
that we stuck it to Altera.
yeah, exactly. We did one last sticking it to Altera.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so short of diving through every nook and cranny for more alien artifact sites, which are probably now pointless because the voice in our head is gone. And doing a scan everything run, which I'm not sure how we accomplish without a stasis rifle.
Yeah.
You missed, sir.
Short. But we also have the Architect Phase Gate facility.
Yep. So I guess we head to we go get our final cutscene and story bit. Then I guess we can do a final thoughts and wrap up.
Yeah.
Oh, here's Big Jed.
Yup. Going for a ride? Going for a Leviathan ride. Yeehaw!
Yeehaw!
Oh, he wants you.
That was a fun little ride.
Well,
He wasn't there for you because he is very aggressively camping the entrance to the base. Oh, and
yeah.
now he's flying.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like you can actually harm him while he's got you in his
Yeah.
mouth.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
There he goes. Yeah, he's just very mad at me now.
Yeah.
Sir, you are extremely in the shallows. Yep.
I do not know where he's supposed to be, but
It feels like maybe not there.
yeah.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
I wonder if maybe he came up from the deeper vent areas.
Poked through the ceiling or something.
Yeah.
Really? He is so mad.
Yup.
He just tore that shark apart. Goodness.
Apex predator.
I mean, yes, but goodness, does he need to camp my base that hard?
He thinks he does. There's another large thing in the area, and clearly that means that it is competition.
Not even that large to him.
No, your base. The base is large.
My base is mostly viewing domes. He wants my drugfish. It's the only reasonable answer. Oop, sorry, bladderfish. He clearly wants my drugfish.
Yeah, that is what he wants. He is addicted to the drugfish. You've got the goods.
Now, where is... passage?
This looks
Yeah,
promising.
he is stupidly aggressive. Just absolutely shockingly determined. Like, I was joking about him camping the entrance to the base, but
He
I don't
very
know
much
how
is.
he very much is. And to think I moved the base over there because I thought it would be central and peaceful. I like, obviously I did that off camera, so we don't have record of me having an absolute peaceful time moving everything over there, but I absolutely had no issues whatsoever
Until it was completely
until I
built.
started recording and it was completely built. Yeah.
Yep.
Are you preparing to leave, Alan?
Yes, there is much to do.
Green.
All of their power is green.
Really? I can't scan that? It looks like a thing I would want to scan.
Yeah.
Get the telescope out. Calling it now.
Do you still wish to leave with me? Beyond this teleporter, there is no turning back.
Are you kidding? I can't pass up a chance to see where architects come from. Besides, I don't have another ride.
I do not know what we will find there. The others may be sick or angry, if they live at all.
Or you could find peace. Family.
I hope you are right. Please complete any business you still have on this planet. Join me on the other side when you are ready to leave.
Alright, well, gonna mash the save button. That sounded like this is the end credits there. I can't think of anything else we'd want to do short of a completionist run, which I don't think was the intent to do here.
Mm-hmm.
very different looking architecture here. Oh, but it is still cold here.
Still snowy.
Robin, you're just in time. The phase gate is opening.
You've been hiding a phase gate here this whole time.
Only for the last millennium. It will lead us home.
Only for
No
the last
wonder you
one.
hid yourself from Altera.
It
Oh
was
boy,
imperative to
indeed.
keep the homeworld safe, in hopes that the others survived.
Yeah.
She knows what a phase gate is, apparently. Eeg.
Yeah, that thing
Will
is a
you help me
little
prepare the ship?
large.
The energy masts must be moved into place.
Well, this is different.
Energy masts must be moved into place. Probably these things that are knocked down. Oh, we can fly. That's neat.
Oh no. Whoa!
No.
Not bothered by that at all. Okay.
Trust.
We're not very good at this.
Well, it is your first time with like alien prosthetics.
Very good. Return to me and I will initiate ship assembly.
Ship assembly. No.
Thank you. The masts are in place. The energy field is ready. There is no time to lose.
There we go. Just gonna build it around himself. Okay.
Join me, Robin.
Woo!
I apologize. The levitator was calibrated. for
Yeah, I was
everything.
gonna say he's
I would have helped
Bit
you to your
bigger.
feet, but as you can see, I have been fully integrated with the ship.
Is this permanent?
Nothing is permanent. Are you ready to go?
Yes. I found the answers I was looking for. I'm ready to move on. I can't bring Sam back. But I know she died fighting, and I got to finish her work. I'll always carry her memory.
Good. Please brace yourself, and then we will depart.
I feel like we're looking the wrong way.
Launching in 3, 2,
There we go.
1.
Fancy.
It's so pretty. Green. With purple.
Guessing the purple is your favorite part.
Purple.
What will
That
we
rock
find
just
when
went
we
right
get
through
there?
our face.
If I am the last of my kind, I will experience the sorrow of 10,000 souls dimming.
a cherry sort.
Yeet.
Lucky.
And if they
Much green.
survived?
With you, I am ready to face whatever awaits.
Yeah. The stuff being lit green is maybe a good sign.
Maybe. All right. Well, final thoughts?
We touched cold fishies.
We touched cold fishies.
You did not get yourself frozen, though.
I did not get myself frozen. That was actually a deathless run.
Wow.
And I don't think I can blame that of the first game by any stretch of the imagination. Still not sure I've done a deathless run of that game, though I haven't particularly tried. On the second playthrough, I tend to play more stupidly, so maybe that's not exactly the most fair of comparisons. Very short. I can get why they waffled on whether that was a DLC or a sequel.
Yeah.
Ending feels a little awkward, to be honest. Not sure if that's going to be the start of 3 or if they just decided we want to, like, it definitely feels like a halfway stop point more than anything else.
Hmm.
It's a decent end for Robin, I suppose. But it feels like maybe a halfway point if you're considering Alan's story.
Yeah.
But I don't see him as a particularly interesting character to continue in for Subnautica 2 or 3, whatever they're going to end up calling that. So, just kind of odd all over the place. But I guess what else do you do? She can't exactly build a new ship and just go. She's illegally on the planet. I guess there could be a Marguerite ending where she hangs out with Marguerite for ostensibly the rest of her life, or at least until Altera sends reclamation crews to figure out what's going on there, because they will want to come back for the Leviathan and Kara. If, as far as we can tell, they're just big on trying to profiteer off anything. I don't know. I think you said you ended up playing this twice. What's the difference if you don't end up stabbing Leviathan with the antidote?
Not a whole lot.
No?
Dialogue. You still leave with Alan, but it's, you don't get that closure
Mhm.
with your sister and everything. It's just like, well, there's nothing left for me on this planet because my sister is dead, so I might as well leave, sort of a thing. So,
Okay. Well,
yeah, it's not like you get like a bad ending. It's just,
Altera can continue doing stupid stuff with the virus.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I babbled a bit there. Do you have any final thoughts on Below Zero? Did it meet your expectations? How was the format of me having no idea what's going on and you getting to be the smug person who knows what's going on?
I had forgotten a lot of it, so like it was very interesting seeing that you went to very different places first. You did things in much different order than I did. Um, I think I followed far more closely to what the game wanted the progression to be, so the dialogue options between Robin and Alan made a lot more sense to me
I,
in terms of there being like the initial paranoia and mild what do you call it, like antagonism toward having this thing in our head, and then slowly coming to know each other and becoming friends. um it still felt to me like um Ellen was a bit cagey and Robin was awfully inclined to trust him.
Yeah,
But that was necessary for story, I guess.
I suppose that's true.
Yeah.
It really, yes, she very much felt like she just kind of fell into trust very rapidly,
Yeah.
which is was strange to watch. Um, Particularly weird for my playthrough. And I'm not sure precisely what I did differently. I guess I found all of the Altera bases before actually getting Ellen. Not
Um
Omega. I didn't find Omega.
yeah, you found a lot of the bases before getting Alan in your head. Um and you also put off Marguerite for a long time.
Right. I think I thought I needed to be able to go an awful lot deeper. Um, and I think what that was is it took me a real long time to get a vehicle online. I kind of stalled everything until I had the prawn, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
And maybe that part of the problem was that because I went after the Mercury 2, because I happened to stumble upon it, um, that got me the prawn real quick. And
Mhm.
once I had the prawn, I got distracted because I already knew that the Copa Mining Center was online. So I kind of ended up getting spoiled for resources
Yeah.
a bit. And yeah, at that point, the alien distress signal and Marguerite had kind of fallen out of my head because I got really into trying to dig up the mining site and get a prawn going.
Yeah.
Chat calling out that it's not unusual for RPG companion NPCs to have trust assigned inordinately quickly, and that's true. Very much a true statement.
Yeah. I really powered for the alien distress signal. Like, as soon as I got the ping that it was there, I immediately went after it, and just kind of devoted everything. And I actually went in with the air plants.
Oh,
Like,
so you didn't even have the sea truck. I was going to
I
ask if
didn't
you
have the
did
sea
sea
truck.
truck first.
I just had the what's it called? The little surf thing.
Sea glide.
Yeah, I just had a sea glide, and I just went from O2 plant to O2 plant, and you know took little breaths of air and made it all the way back. So, yeah,
Yeah, I think that's interesting to see the Subnautica team doubling down on that very strange occurrence that was criticized a lot in the first game too, which is I'll call them Alterans, because I'm not sure they ever called themselves human. Being able to withstand absurd amounts of water pressure
yeah,
without taking damage or being harmed,
yeah,
which is not true of their vehicles, which is strange. Um,
yeah,
so that's a very the oxygen plants leading to the alien distress signal. Your observation that is true of Marguerite Space too is there's kind of that line of O2 plants to get you going in the right direction.
yeah,
Um, make it feel like they are expecting you to just get out of your vehicle and dive further.
yeah,
And you do that in some extents in the first game too. At least I do, tend
yeah,
to pillage the jelly shroom caves, just having the sea moth parked at the entrance. Um,
yeah,
or if you're particularly daring and know what you're doing, you can. There are some. areas in the jelly shroom caves where the ceiling's a little bit high, and you can go
Yeah.
into crush depth and then pop back out and
Yeah.
repair
Yeah.
to make it a little bit easier to do all the scanning and get the desalinization plant and the battery chargers and all the goodies down there. Magnetite, actually, also in
Yeah.
those caves if you can get deep enough. Um, but that feels in the first game more like a stupid trick that you can pull off if you kind of are familiar with mechanics. And maybe I'm being dismissive of how often people would do that kind of thing naturally. Uh, Whereas here it feels almost like they are counting on you to exhibit that kind of behavior.
Yeah. I found it very natural to just jump out of my vehicle and go explore when I was just a little, when my depth wasn't just quite enough. Especially because they do give you such large air tanks. And then with the Sea Glide, you can do some pretty good forays outside of your vehicles. I honestly thought you were very reluctant to leave your vehicles during this playthrough. And there were multiple times where I was just like, why doesn't he just get out and swim?
Um, so I guess two aspects there. One, not wanting to have the vehicle lost in the middle of nowhere,
Hmm.
respawn at the base and having to trek all the way back. Kind of
Yeah,
a
yeah.
respect stream's time to some extent.
To be fair, that happened to me a lot
Yeah.
in both games.
And to be a little bit honest, on the other side of the coin, after a few streams in, going out of my way to try to preserve getting through this deathless.
Mm, yeah, that's fair.
Um, and I don't know what happens if the big leviathans grab you. I never had a reinforced diving suit that whole time. I don't believe. Maybe I did build one right at the very end. Um, just was never necessary. But uh, to your point, I did live in the prawn. I'm not going
Yeah.
to deny that. Um,
The prawn is fun though.
right. So I don't know what happens if the see. Here's where I really want to be able to like give their names, but I can't because, as far as I can tell, there's no way of safely scanning them.
Yeah.
I know that the ones in the caves are called shadow leviathans entirely because Chad at one point referred to them as such.
Mm,
So I don't know what the big crab shark that was camping the base is called.
yeah.
I don't know what the squid sharks that have electricity running around the lily pads are called.
Yeah.
Um, so there's just kind of a lot of big unknowns. And in the first game, you get the stasis rifle so that you can do safe scans of things, and they don't have quite as much mouth gravity.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm guessing they didn't include the stasis rifle because in the first game it ended up being that players would just hit leviathans with the stasis rifle and dump a bunch of the gas pustules on their head,
Mm,
and then when they unfroze, they just kind of instantly died.
yeah.
So maybe they were trying to avoid a situation where people just kill all the leviathans. Chat calling me out on saying I have a no death run because I never got out of the prawn, uh, which is true and fair.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of glad you didn't build a snow fox
Oh,
because I found it annoying to drive.
okay. Tell us a little bit about the snow fox since we didn't see it in this playthrough.
It just turning in it was like it's a hover bike, so it's got that like gliding on an air hockey table feel to it.
Oh, I
And
see.
so as you try to turn, you're still sort of momentum is still kind of carrying you. So just navigating the thing or steering the thing to me was rather annoying. And then you had to have really smooth ground, and it got hung up on every little bump in the terrain. Um, and so, I felt like that was what I was supposed to be doing. So in my first playthrough, I was very adamant about trying to use the snow fox, but it was just kind of a miserable experience for me. Um,
So let me ask you this, if you don't mind. With your playthrough, when you were more aggressively pursuing beacons as they were delivered to you by the game, how long did it take you to get the prawn? Because I almost feel like a huge chunk of the game was assuming that you didn't have the prawn, and I think it was the first vehicle I got a hold of.
yeah, pretty sure I got a sea truck well before getting a prawn. I don't remember in my first playthrough exactly how long it took me to get the prawn, but I do remember relying on the sea truck very heavily for a good portion of the game. I also went a bit heavier into making additional modules for the sea truck. And one interesting note, you said the sea truck was slow. It gets slower the more modules attached.
Oh my goodness.
So if you take them all off, it's a little bit faster. And if you have like one of every module, it is really slow.
Chat's asking if it feels like a real world hovercraft. So are you like speeding through the canyons, and every time you try to turn, you just kind of side slip and crash into the walls?
um, no, because it's not that fast.
Okay, so hold on.
Not that fast.
It gives you an unwieldy hovercraft, and it doesn't even let you have fun by making it speedy?
It's speedier than the prawn, I think. I'd have to go back and play with it, but I had
Best,
such a bad time with it, I haven't touched it in forever.
if the best phrase you can give it is that it is speedier than a prawn, which is a slow, stompy loader.
Uh-huh.
That's really damning it with faint praise.
Yeah.
Oh, chat's asking what it looks like. Can you describe what a snow fox looks like?
Oh, okay, so it's like take a motorcycle, but remove the wheels and instead give it like four legs that come down at like angled outward with little pads at the ends. Like little, like almost like an arm with a little metal detector circle pad at the end. So it's got like four of those coming down off of what is essentially a motorcycle body.
So it's kind of like a quadcopter almost.
Yeah. It looks really cool.
Yep.
And like if you've got wide open areas, it was kind of fun, but like trying to
But there are two of
navigate it
those.
through um
Okay, here's a question that might make it good. Can it at least go over water since it's a hovercraft? Because there were a number of places where being able just to go over the surface of the water very quickly would be awesome. Getting to the greenhouse, for instance.
I don't think I ever tried that.
Okay, because as a hovercraft, it should be capable of going over the surface of the water, right?
Depends on exactly how it hovers, but
Well, I would assume by shoving air.
yeah.
Maybe it's like it's over ice sheets, so it can't be magnetics, right?
Yeah.
Or at least not magnetics off the ground. So it
Yeah.
has to be air propulsion of some sort.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I guess that's not true. It's sci-fi. They could have gravity manipulators, but
Mhm.
again, if it's a gravity manipulator, I would be wanting to believe it should be able to go over the surface of water.
Mhm.
Has no ground clearance, says Chats.
Yeah. That's the thing. It like the little hover pads are a little ways off the ground,
Hmm.
but you still get caught on little things.
Got it. I'd almost say that it would be more useful just for getting quickly between Phi Robotics, the the Delta Island and Marguerite's greenhouse and the lily pads.
Mhm.
Um, I guess the real thing is I just don't see why you wouldn't use the prawn to get through the area with the big worms. They're
Yeah. If taking the snow fox through there, you will get wormed.
That's very strange to me because I was evading with just holding the W button and walking.
Yeah.
So
I The worms were a problem for me,
weird.
but I
Um,
was not in the prawn at the time.
so they were hyped so much in the lore, and I think we had random chatters at one point also kind of being smug and threatening about them. So I was kind of really worried about that segment.
Mhm.
And much like off the coast of Delta Island, I would often hear them and have no idea where they were. And they were screaming so often, it no longer became like a jump scare kind of thing. It was just
Mhm.
became a constant background noise.
Yeah.
And um, it just stop being threatening because they never seem to actually attack. I think I got hit once because I stopped moving entirely and turned to ask the chat if they were actually aggressive or just making
Yeah.
noises and wandering around at random.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I hit. I'm still not convinced that it was actively attacking me, and it's not just random kind of thing hit me in the middle of the ice field.
Yeah. Well, they certainly seemed aggressive when I was playing.
Maybe maybe it's a matter of they're coded to go after the snow fox, and they just
Yeah.
whatever code they have to be aggressive to the snow fox, they just attached it to the snow fox itself, and the AI doesn't look for other vehicles.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like giant supposition, I have no idea. But that definitely felt like this is the big threat, and it just didn't feel like it. It didn't feel like they pulled it off. The only place I really got the really big feelings of dread that I loved from the first game were the Crystal Caverns.
Yeah.
That's the only atmosphere where I felt genuinely threatened.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if that hit you the same way.
Um yeah, like I didn't feel nearly as threatened by the leviathans in this one. And I kind of chalked it up to I knew what was coming, right? I knew that
Mm.
there were going to be leviathans. And so they weren't as novel and terrifying because I'd already dealt with them in the first game.
And I put out an alternate theory and see how you what your thoughts are on that.
Go for it.
In the first game, Leviathans were really rare.
Yeah.
They were actually exceptionally rare. Um, you had Reapers off the Aurora.
Mhm.
You had Reapers in the dunes, which really nobody ever goes to.
Yeah.
Um, you had a few Ghost Leviathans in some truly weird places. So generally, if you saw Leviathans, you were kind of going off the map to many extents. And more to the point for me, if you heard a Leviathan, you were somewhere you oughtn't be. And those Leviathans only made noise if they were really about to mess your day up.
Mm. It's the only made noise if they were about to mess your day up.
Yeah.
The
Whereas here
leviathans here are constantly making
they're
noise.
just constantly screaming.
They could be a long way away and they're making their noise. And so you kind of get used to yeah, there's a leviathan screaming somewhere.
It also means that you have to almost have to just write it off as a threat, right?
Mhm.
Because you can't be worried about Leviathan sounds. Otherwise, you're constantly worried, and it just burns out the feeling of threat and terror, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what was really doing it for me is that the Crystal Caverns were the first place where things were quiet.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
you saw them moving out there in the distance, but you didn't know. how close it was and if it was upset or
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
it was just kind of like, are you getting away with ninjaing through?
Mhm.
I do wish that the Shadow Leviathans were a little bit less perceptive. Not because I'm a wuss or anything like that, but because they just because they have so much attack gravity,
Yeah.
they can just suck you out of all the little nooks and crannies. And I feel like those were put in there so that you could avoid them.
Yeah. That's
There's
what it
just
felt like.
like it. I feel like they were intending you to have big counterplay moves with them. And because they have such heavy gravity in this game, your only counterplay ends up being just, well, hold down the drill arm to make him let go and then repair
Mhm.
up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go back to base, make an ion battery so that you have enough juice to get through, although I'm sure 4 basic batteries and rotating through would be equally effective.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
so I really want to say Crystal Caves, and to a lesser extent the Red Crystal area, that hit the spot perfectly.
Yeah.
Um, it's really Delta Island really just killed it for me. The snowfields with the worms just killed it for me because on the one
Yeah.
hand, they were just all so noisy and so little threat. They were so busy screaming at each other.
Yeah.
Um, Places where I really jumped. When I went off the edge of the world and got attacked by a ghost crab shark thing,
Mhm.
like the one that was camping my base but translucent. That really spooked me.
Yeah.
That one spooked me so hard. Um, because he was silent.
Mhm.
Actually, coming back
Yeah.
to that, I did not know he was there until I turned around
Yeah.
and he was like 5 yards away.
Yeah.
Places I was really spooked. Number two, getting out into the sea truck to turn around and within nanoseconds getting grabbed by the crab
Mhm.
the crab shark leviathan.
Yeah.
Um, like when he was like just wrapped his lips around the sea truck parking bay and just started
Yeah.
sucked me out like it was a straw.
Yeah.
Um,
You were his boba.
yeah, just was there another good startle point? Um, I guess right at the end where look at the Leviathan, see him swimming above, see him swimming outside, triple check that he's not outside,
Yeah.
go out and immediately get, latched onto, oh shoot, I can see his shadow chasing me, maybe I can evade, nope, he's got me.
Yeah.
Um, but for a Subnautica game, being able to count on half of a hand, how many times I got a really good spook.
Yeah.
Um, it's disappointing,
Yeah.
honestly. I think they nailed the first game harder,
Yeah.
and I don't know what's going on with this one. I think just turning down the noises would have been
Mhm.
huge.
Um I
All
also
right,
felt
so
like there was more. Oh, sorry.
modders, take notes. Just reduce screaming by 1/10. Drop it down to 1/10 scream rate, and you'll probably make a better game with that mod alone.
Mm.
Sorry, what was your thought?
Um I felt like there was less diversity in the biomes.
Agreed. The map was very small. The biomes were pretty samey.
Mhm.
I want to say in the first game you've got active lava, inactive lava, lost river, blood kelp, shroom cave, dunes, spires, which are almost the dunes really.
Yeah.
The not dunes I don't remember the name of. Sea Treaders Cove, Hope Forest, the Shafe Shallows, the sandy, grassy plateaus, Koosh Fields, Deep Koosh Fields.
Yeah.
And here you've got safe shallows, weird, bridgy coral things, kelp, jellyfish area, vent gardens, lily pads, crystals,
Yeah. Oh, and the
and then above ground.
yeah.
Red crystals, I guess, technically is a different word. It's so tiny, but I
Yeah.
feel like it's just an extension of crystals.
Yeah. It just felt like there weren't as many moments of like going through the darkness and then starting to get a sight of a new entirely different biome and just that awe and wonder as you're like, "Oh my god, what is this? This is so amazing. This is beautiful." You
Yeah,
know? There
yeah.
was a lot more of that in the first game.
Koosh definitely hits you like that. The mushroom trees didn't even count
Mhm.
those. Floating islands
Yeah.
didn't count those in the first game. Here, the lily pads didn't hit me that same way because you've got such a slow transition. Now,
Yeah.
to their credit, that's more ecologically sensible.
Yeah.
This map felt more natural. I will
Yeah.
100% give them that. It
Yeah.
felt more natural and things flowed a lot better.
Yeah.
But it didn't have the same punch.
Yeah.
Um,
The same
aside from the
feeling
crystal
of
caves.
discovery.
Aside from the crystal caves.
Yeah.
And yeah, I 100% agree with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's what almost 30 minutes of us giving final thoughts. That's a lot of final thinking. But I guess that wraps this game. Um, going back to Lobotomy Corporation, hopefully. And I'd also like to demo Control. That might be a thing we play together because I think we're both no idea of what's going on there.
Which game?
Control. It's pretty heavily recommended by Culture and a couple other people.
Okay.
Um, it is. I played 5 minutes just to prove that it worked on the machine.
Okay.
It is more or less you going into something very akin to Lobotomy Corporation from the outside, looking for a relative of some sort.
Huh.
So you're kind of just forcing your way into uh, monster containment weirdo facility, kind of just going in entirely on bluster and picking up disaster halfway through and just being that agent wandering through and
Okay.
trying to find something. Like I said, like 5 minutes
Yeah,
open
yeah.
intro. That's as far as I got, and then said, "Oh yeah, this is definitely something I should stream and share."
Yes. I would love to stream that with you.
Okay, so Lobotomy Corporation for strategic stuff, and I guess Control's our next off game for first-person shooter horror power plant monsters.
Yay.
All right, thanks for joining us, everyone. I guess that's a wrap for Subnautica Below Zero. Bye.
Bye.